In the 1980s, I remember visiting an international exhibition of art in Delhi. The first thing that caught my eye was this incredible and deeply meditative monk's head. And as I approached it, I realized that it was a ceramic head made from an inverted pot, which had then been manipulated and changed, and the features of the monk had been put in. And I was so amazed because I realized that the person had started with throwing a pot on the wheel and then changed it into this amazing piece of art. That is when I realized that you could do so much with ceramic, and that even in those early days, this wonderful artist called P.R. Daroz had already started working with ceramics in a very different kind of way. I myself started to be interested in learning how to do pottery, and many years later, I joined the Delhi Blue Pottery. And there we had a young woman teacher who was a very amazing person because she was able to teach us all the basics of ceramics and pottery and the technicalities, but we were left to a large extent to our own imagination and to our own creativity. And that felt really good because it gave one the confidence of trying to be very individual in one's work. And this was Dipalee. She was the ceramic teacher there. At the immortal touch of thy hands, my little heart loses its limits in joy and gives birth to utterance ineffable. Thy infinite gifts come to me only on these very small hands of mine. Ages pass, and still thou pourest, and still there is room to fill.
What times we have spent here, na?
Yeah.
We used to
Most
come
memorable.
every single day here.
Actually, ceramic department, it was a sort of recreational department also for the other mediums.
That was, I think, probably the vision of Bharat Bhavan, na? It was a multidisciplinary thing.
Yes,
And,
yes.
So all art forms were performing here under one roof.
Yes.
The kind of exposure we got here, my dear.
Oh my God. Whether it was theatre.
Remember that World Poetry Festival?
Yes, yes.
What stall was Peter
And what
Brook?
plays?
Peter Brook play.
What plays? Yeah.
Doing play, yeah.
God.
But the strangest thing is, Dipalee, that we were attending all that and yet our dedication to clay.
Yes,
Remember?
that was focused.
Half the time we were seen in wearing our
Apron.
aprons.
So we were
running around
most
here
of the time we were in apron and
moving
around.
We were least bothered.
Yes.
I mean, it's so
We were least bothered.
strange. I think we were neither ambitious. We had no idea we were artists.
No,
we were somehow, practicing this.
And we were quite focused, strangely.
Very focused.
We did not know
Truly.
the medium.
Yeah.
And before us, there was no ceramic as such in MP.
No.
Where did this clarity come from? I don't understand.
I think also we were very lucky to, be in a space like Bharat Bhavan and then getting Daroz sir as our teacher.
Yeah, that's most fortunate.
Yeah.
I think. We were at the right time, at the right place.
Yeah. I mean, the kind of relation we developed
Yes.
with clay.
With clay.
Because of Daroz sir, I guess.
Yeah. That's important.
The kind of training he has given us. The way we were taught to handle clay, and I think Daroz sir would often say that, when you are working with clay, be clay yourself.
Yes.
I remember, how many times we'll be making things for say 3 months and then
And suddenly one day it would come and break everything.
Yeah.
There was nothing, I remember.
Yeah.
There was
Not a
nothing,
single
not a
piece
single
was.
piece on the shelf.
Yeah.
He is the clay pot, he is its maker, and he is the clay himself, with which the vessel is made. He is a reveler, quaffing, drinking from it. And he is the one who buys the vessel and then shatters it and leaves.
Basic exercise of detaching from the material, that helped us, and that was a foundation.
I mean, of course, that time you would
But
hardly understand.
We were extremely
I used to
offended.
cry,
Yeah. For many days that
Yeah.
trauma was there.
Yeah.
But
But
then
it has really taught us this detachment
Yes.
thing. Truly.
clay is a medium where this is the first, it's a foundational practice to detach from the material.
Daroz, I remember, would still say that, clay is the medium which is closest to life.
Yes, in all sense.
So you have to be humble.
You have to be
would
humble.
say
You have
that,
to be.
yeah.
You have to be submissive.
Clay makes you humble like anything.
And
Yeah.
this is the material where you can't dictate clay.
Yeah.
Like it has
That's
its
so
own
true.
mind.
That's so
you
true.
know?
That's so true.
Clay will make you work as clay demands.
Yeah.
The material demands. It's not you
Yeah.
that making it work.
Yeah.
No.
Truly.
Thou hast made me endless, such is thy pleasure. This frail vessel thou emptiest again and again, and fillest it ever with fresh life. You grew up in Bhopal, Dipali. How was that? I mean, your early childhood and school and the general feel of the city and all of that.
It was interesting. I was living in a multicultural atmosphere because father came to Bhopal from Calcutta, and he came along with 10 of his friends, college friends, and they stayed here. So it was a large Bengali community. And yeah, so it was like living in a large family and within a larger family, like the locals. So it was a mixed culture. And growing up in that culture was very enriching. There was no restriction for me, whatever I wanted to do. And so it was open. And luckily the circumstances in Bhopal at that time, because as you see, it's full of nature everywhere.
Yes,
So
it's
the
beautiful.
adventure, the adventurous atmosphere of the place, the romanticism of the area with lakes and forests and trees.
Yes.
So growing up there in that culture, in that peaceful, healthy atmosphere,
Yes.
it was interesting.
What a wonderful childhood it seems like,
Yes.
The basic question of the roots of creativity and how the inner and the outer coincide in the work that you do. How do you see that?
In the beginning, when we are starting our work, it's more outwardly. You are seeing things from outside,
Right.
absorbing them. And as you work more, it's more internalized. You are going inside.
Yes.
And that is much, much deeper, that world. And it's very vast. You can explore more and more and more.
Yes.
Yes.
That's wonderful actually, because it tells us about a kind of balance between life and work and how the one impacts the other.
Yeah.
And even in the body of work that you create, that process can be seen.
Yeah. So after one point, it gets integral. Your life and your creativity. It's
Right.
seamless.
So the first body of work was about what, and then how did it?
Basically, first few years were just technical skills. And it was after a decade when I started to come closer to the medium. Then my first series was the blowtorch.
I see.
And that was the first time when I started enjoying the medium. And then sounding clay. That was very vigorous and spirited atmosphere, because the house atmosphere was like
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so absolutely circumstances.
And then soon after that, you did, I think, a series of seals.
Yeah, that was a contemplative phase of my life where some mishappenings were there in the family. And then I just wanted a quietude, solace, some kind of solace. So you can see in that particular body of work, there is very complex and calm, and very calm colors are also the choice of colors.
So almost a process of healing in your work.
Yes, that's
itself.
right, that's right.
And then from that you go to digging clay, I think. That was your next.
Yeah, that was a very vigorous, which is always there inside me. Very bold forms, they attract me. Yes.
And back to the primitive.
Back to the primitive, there is always a connectivity. We are linked. Yeah, that's the roots.
And then the very powerful series that you've recently made of contrast between textures and glazes and non-glazed surfaces.
They are called instruments of perception. Abstract metaphors are there. One is that we are seeing a manifestation of certain clay bodies. It's a form I am making in clay. The other is we are thinking about something, we are perceiving something. So in one object, we are also thinking, like if an object is there, you are thinking about that, you're perceiving it. And one is the tangible thing. It's a reality, tangible and intangible relationship. So those are the instruments. That's the recent works. Yeah, I think abstraction is the distilled reality.
ভয় কি তোমার অকুল পাথারে প্রাণটি সপিয়া দাও না তারে ভোলামটি আমার গুরুর চরণে শরণ যেন থাকে ভয় কি তোমার ওই অকুল পাথারে প্রাণটি সপিয়া দাও না তারে ভোলামটি আমার গুরু চরণে শরণ যেন থাকে
The same stream of life that runs through my veins night and day runs through the world and dances in rhythmic measures. It is the same life that shoots in joy through the dust of the earth, in numberless blades of grass, and breaks into tumultuous waves of leaves and flowers. It is the same life that is rocked in the ocean cradle of birth and of death, in ebb and in flow. I feel my limbs are made glorious by the touch of this world of life, and my pride is from the life throb of ages, dancing in my blood this moment.
So Mansi, when you sort of shifted to from this was in 70s you spent in Baroda.
70s.
Huh?
Shifted to
So
1980.
Shifted to
80.
80.
80 to Delhi.
Huh. So there you came to Gadi.
Yeah, as a scholar,
Huh.
we came to Gadi.
Huh.
Then I did go back to.
Huh.
Anyway.
To went to okay. हाँ हाँ जी अभी तो हम चाय पीने आए हैं
Seeing the stone,
हाँ
it got a lot of life, you said stone into with some centuries is there. Again it's eroded by the holes and other things like
हाँ
the air. It gives me a lot of joy, like something is cutting there, the hardness also is there,
the
and giving some kind of a dimension, visually,
हाँ हाँ
So I started making that, it for me, it's like a silent energy.
yeah
It's cutting, it's not visible actually, that energy. This takes some years to come out that kind of a shape,
हाँ हाँ
So then I'm transforming my clay.
हाँ
I made some last exhibition like, solid stones, kind of a holes in it.
हाँ
So I created this using in a different molds. This is what I'm watching in the nature. I'm transforming my thoughts,
हाँ
the different form. Creating a new form for me very joyful actually. If you see the pottery forms are totally different than others. That's within you how you are creating. I can't describe this is how it comes, like it comes itself, throwing or working on the things like.
But there is a shift in sort of looking at a form within a particular context. Ceramics has its own kind of orientation to being a vessel, to being used. But you shifted that entire dimension, And from there it was also you kind of contextualize that particular form, and also the, sort of there is a shift in the utility aspect of it. So how do you see that? I mean, when you place it in a, ambience.
In the sense like, I see the form, I create the form, the function is not just like using anything. So function also, I believe seeing the beautiful eye function also is there.
Yes.
So that's why I treat like my forms like sculptures, even though my pots like that. It is there, like you don't have to use that. It is there, like rocks or the walls, or it's there, like you don't have to use particularly. You have to be with them. You have to celebrate what you are. It's like joyful and a beautiful kind of a feeling you will get to that. That time you don't know where you are in trance actually. And when it comes out, we'll see that, hi, how did it happen? That kind of a moment you don't know. As a real thing is in a form, is in a career, is coming. So actually you are not planning. And your mind is something, your hand is something, but in between there is a third thing, which you not lay. It allows to make, some new direction. It comes in a very beautiful way. That's why you never thought that thing. That's why you react to that form. ये तो मैंने जो से भी अच्छा है. So that kind of a joy is satisfying for the artist actually. That is very personal. Again, that's momentary. Then it's a beautiful way of that moment is very
हाँ.
Let the beauty we love be what we do. There are hundreds of ways to kneel and kiss the ground.
So how do you kind of arrive at that? Because this is a rural part of an urban scape, has to be visualized differently, has a different function, role to play.
Yeah.
So how do you kind of, if you can just give us one or two examples, how do you actually, a pot inside and a mural outside,
So that's like there's an interior, exterior kind of things. And the dimension visually, then we have to see the weather, sunlight, or natural light or artificial light, and that's why we create murals like when even changing the whole day, how the reflection is there on your mural, that is we blend from distance, like in the temple also. If we see the walls, like when you go near another top is going in a height, and all the animal faces, Simhatala, all is looking down kind of things.
Yes.
Normally we visualize, we draw like this. If it goes higher, you can't see only this chin, you will see. But in the temple architecture, the all forms, it's looking down. They are looking down, like you are looking them. You can see their faces like that. These kind of things, you learn from the architecture. When you're doing any modern things also, how your light is then. When you are doing fixing the outside, that adhesives are different than interior things. And then stoneware body you'll use because that is more stronger, making a mural like, fixing adhesives are totally different. Interior, then we can fix on wood also. That it's not affected, it's air conditioned area. That's it's a different kind of feeling. So this all depends on where it's going, who is there. First we will go and see the site, and accordingly we design these things. Clay is like in a humans, like actually it's the life. When you born, when you again you are going to die, things like it shows the clay when it breaks, it goes back to the earth. The same thing, the life on earth, anything, if it dies and again it goes back to the clay. And that way we are every day using things, we are making clay, it gives, in a container, water, it serves your purpose. And we are eating in the clay, we are cooking in the clay, it was there, like, And I was telling you, the human lives are there, the good people, and that's also is there. Like, that's what I said, we are clay, I am clay, like,
So it provides a sort of
it's like,
metaphor to life.
It has a flexibility of the things, and also clay becomes, when the fires, the hardness is there actually. So there's all kind of things. When you fire more, then it becomes like a stone actually. And then the stone also you can grind it actually. Again it goes back to the clay. Again the life cycle, from seed to the tree, and fruit again seed and coming back. So that's what I believe in clay, and enjoy working with the clay. मैं शंकुदा के लिए एक पटरी बनाया था, उसका डेथ का टाइम में हीरा चौधरी, शी इज़ ऑल्सो पॉटर, एंड आई आस्क्ड हर, फिर मेरे को शंकुदा का बोनस चाहिए, तो उसने हंसा, वो स्मशान घाट में, उसको समझ में आया कि ये क्या करने वाले हैं। तो फिर अब उसके डेथ के बाद मैंने तो बेटी से उमा से पूछा था, उसने बोन्स लिया था। फिर ये उसके बाद एक वॉज आपने देखा, वो वही है, तो दे रेस्पेक्ट हिम बड़ोड़ा में इसके, तो उसका ऐश देख के उसको लगता है रिमेंबर चीज देर लाइक ग्लेस का, दैट्स द आइडिया है ना। फिर वो ऐश है ना, लोग है ना गंगा में डालते हैं, वो भी ऐश भी की वो किसी के लिए खाना बनता है अगर गंगा में है तो, फिशेस दे ईट। लेकिन इधर क्या है ना, हम एज ए ग्लेस, द बोन ऐश कैल्शियम फॉस्फेट, वी यूज द ग्लेस। बोन ऐश ना एनिमल्स का होता है, बट इज ह्यूमन वो नेचुरल ना पहली बार मैंने ऐसे यूज़ किया था. It's like people are saying अपन फोटोग्राफ देख रहे ये देख रहे हम थ्रू द मीडियम उसका इमेज देख रहे हैं उसको याद रख रहे हैं. That's pure.
Dipali's work and vis-a-vis your work, you know. I mean, obviously, sort of inputs have gotten, and yet she stands very independently in terms of her expression.
I respect for that thing. Because as a friend, as a teacher, you should not influence anybody.
Yes.
That's what I learned from my teachers. But you should see what they are inside. You should guide them. Technically, we can guide them. I can't tell her to think like this, think like that. I can't tell her. If it is any problem, how to joint, how to fire, how to the things. That's a form is good or not. That is a different way of life. That's all yours. But technically, we can guide. This is firing and glazing, and maybe. Kind of compositions like clay and other things like that's and that is also slowly they learn themselves. They don't but that's why I keep them how they are thinking, but what they want to do, let them do. You have to go with a hollow mind actually, then only you'll fill up some of that things like so. And that's what I believe. The pottery is the clay work is like making things hollow. It's a beautiful way of emptiness you are giving to others. I don't judge anything actually. I take it everything's like in a very normal. We are together, like I don't know some certain things. She knows better than me. Like is the electronic things? I'm so bad actually. She is wonderful. She is knows she got her own stands in the country, and everybody recognizes her work. She respects him. And surprisingly, everybody says, "तुम दरोज के साथ है तो दरोज का काम तुम्हारा काम अलग क्यों है?" अरे तो अलग क्यों नहीं हो सकता ऐसा?
It has
everybody thinks to like and she is more aggressive. मेरे को अलग ही होना चाहिए. वो thought individual thought वो ना बहुत जरूरी है काम में. She is one of the best in the country.
Yes, I think
she got her own way of visualizing things. And she is very supportive for me. Otherwise, I couldn't have made all these things. That is also true.
This little flute of a reed thou hast carried over hills and dales, and hast breathed through it melodies eternally new.
ठाकुर का वो पोएम था इसका.
Yes, it is. There was an inspiration from that in the first ray of the morning sun, the lotus blooms. It blooms. So the lower half of the work is the water body. You have those lotuses and there are indications of fish
Yeah.
and
Tortoise
the
and-
tortoise and of course the lotus
And,
leaves and the flowers.
And the burning sun.
And
Can you see? All the whole things like really like walking.
It really
Kind
becomes
of
a symbol of, say, we use it as a symbol of fine arts.
Yeah.
The sun and
Relationship of
relationship.
the teacher and the students.
Yeah.
रेगुलर स्टूडेंट से ज़्यादा हम बहुत रेगुलर थे.
Even me, I was a commerce student, but I used to spend maximum time at the fine arts faculty.
बहुत से लोग आते थे.
क्योंकि वहाँ का जो एटमोसफियर था ना सर, ये टिपिकल कॉलेज और यूनिवर्सिटी का जो एक क्लासरूम और बॉन्डिंग वाला होता है ना, बाइंडिंग वाला, उस टाइप का नहीं था. इट वाज वेरी फ्री विल.
क्योंकि ज़्यादा प्रैक्टिकल काम होता है ना, इसलिए वो जैसा पढ़ना जैसा नहीं होता था. लेकिन पढ़ने वाले तो पढ़ते ही.
तब का जो टाइम आप बता रहे हैं, उस टाइम में और आज के टाइम में कोई आपको अंतर लग रहा है कि इज देयर एनी चेंज और इज देयर एनीथिंग फॉर बेटरमेंट और हाउ इट इज?
मुझे तो एक लगता है कि उस वक्त गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया एंड देन स्टेट गवर्नमेंट हेल्प करती थी. अब उल्टा है, हो गया है ऐसा लगता है मुझे. अब वो डिमांड करते हैं ये करो ये ना करो. जैसे सरकार यूनिवर्सिटी चलाती है और उनके हिसाब से हमारा कोर्स नक्की होना चाहिए, कुछ ऐसी फीलिंग होती है, बहुत अनईजी.
आप इसी फैकल्टी के स्टूडेंट भी रहे और इसी फैकल्टी में आप टीचर भी रहे. तो आप ऐसा क्या वहाँ से जब स्टूडेंट में कुछ तो आपने देखा सीखा होगा, वो यहाँ पर अपने प्रैक्टिस में भी इम्प्लीमेंट भी किया होगा एज अ टीचर?
दोनों. हमने जो गलती की थी वो स्टूडेंट न करे वो कोशिश की, और टीचर से जो अच्छा लगा.
पर आपने किस टाइप की गलतियाँ करी थी जो दरोज ने करी, ऐसी कि और भी कोई?
अब दरोज के साथ हमारा रिलेशन अलग ही था. वो स्टूडेंट नहीं था, वो ज्योत्सना का स्टूडेंट था. मगर वो 2 घंटे वहाँ 3 घंटे जब स्टूडियो में होता था तब स्टूडेंट बनता था.
हम लोग कभी टीचर स्टूडेंट ऐसा नहीं आता. जैसा पास हमारा रिलेशनशिप ऐसा था. मैं जहाँ भी कुछ काम नया काम करूँ सर को मैं जैसा वो तो चलो ये ज्योत्सना बहन के लिए, ये ज्योत्सना बहन के लिए. फिर सर बोलता था कि अरे हमेशा तुम बेचते रहे तो वो तो कुछ नहीं बेचती. तो फिर ये भी बोल तुम अकेले ही नाम लेते हो, ज्योत्सना बहन का स्टूडेंट है, अगर कोई नाम ही नहीं लेता है. एक्चुअली मैं पहला स्टूडेंट.
डिपार्टमेंट में बहुत छोटा था. देयर वेरी
नहीं आई वाज द ओनली फर्स्ट स्टूडेंट था ना.
वही बोलते, देयर वेरी फ्यू स्टूडेंट्स.
वहाँ उपनिषद में तो कहा है कि स्टूडेंट बनने के लिए भी इतनी ये तो होनी चाहिए लायकात, तभी वो स्टूडेंट बन सकता है ना.
सही बात है.
मुझे पढ़ना है करके बैठ गया तो नहीं पढ़े, वो नहीं.
अब दरोज अगर मिट्टी को लेकर कुछ काम करेगा, क्ले बनाएगा, तो मिट्टी भी तो उसके लायक होनी चाहिए ना. वो डस्ट का तो बना नहीं सकता.
वो तो बना देगा मिट्टी को, किसी को भी लायक बना देगा. ये एक उसकी स्पेशलिटी है जो कम पॉटर्स में.
तुम्हारा जो टर्कोइज ब्लू में एक पर्टिकुलर बोलते हैं कि दरोज ब्लू, वो क्या है?
अरे बोलते हैं ऐसा, एक्चुअली इससे बेरियम कॉपर ब्लू. वो बेरियम जैसा तो वो थोड़ा सा फ्रेश लगता है वो कलर. वो ग्लेज है ना, और कुछ कुछ मटेरियल अच्छा होने से ही अच्छा कलर आता है. वो
काम करने के टाइम पर आप लोगों को एज या हेल्थ कहीं पिक्चर में ही नहीं आती है?
बिल्कुल नहीं.
आई हैव अ फीलिंग कि जब आप लोग काम करते हो कोई भी चीज़ की क्रिएटिविटी में, तो कोई एनर्जी फील्ड अलग ही होता है आप लोगों का. और दूसरा, लाइफ को समझने की, अंडरस्टैंडिंग की जो मैच्योरिटी है, विजडम है, उसका लेवल भी नॉर्मल लोगों से थोड़ा अलग है. जैसे मनी सर में देखा, मैंने आप में देखा, हिम्मत भाई में देखा, और आई एम एज अ फ्रेंड आई एम डिलाइटेड एंड आई एम प्राउड कि अब वो चीज़ दरोज में भी टपक रही है, कि उसके अंदर जो बोलता है ना, उसमें ऐसा लग रहा है कि जैसे विजडम का नेक्टर टूट रहा है. तो ये कहीं आर्ट से इसका क्या रिलेशन है सर?
नहीं, इसमें दो चीज़ होती है साथ साथ। कभी कभी जो भावुक है, ऑडियंस है या जो देखने वाला है, सुनने वाले है, वो खुद कितना सेंसिटिव है वो जरूरी है। कितना भी पंडित है कोई, मगर गधे के पास रख दो तो गधा क्या उनसे मिल सकता है। सो इट इज लाइक दिस।
वो लैम्प्स है।
ज्योति भाई का प्रसाद दो।
आपको दो।
ज्योति भाई का प्रसाद
टेस्ट कर। उसमें मिर्ची बिल्कुल नहीं।
सरस दादा
ঘরের কারিগরির বলি হারি, এই ঘরের কারিগরি, ঘরের কারিগরির বলি হারি, বলো বলো সে মিস্ত্রির কোথায় ঘর, ধন্য কারিগর কে বানালো এমন ঘর, ধন্য কারিগর। ঘরের কারিগরির বলি হারি, ও ভোলাম ঘরের কারিগরির বলি হারি, সে মিস্ত্রির কোথায় ঘর, ধন্য কারিগর কে বানালো এমন ঘর, ধন্য কারিগর। এই ঘরের মূল দুটি খুঁটি, আহা বেশ পরিপাটি, বাঁধন ছাদন দড়ি দরা 3.5 কোটি। এ ঘর মাপে কেবল 14 পুয়া, এ ঘর মাপে কেবল 14 পুয়া, ভোলা মনে 14 ভুবনের ভিতর, ভোলা মনে 14 ভুবনের ভিতর, কে বানালো এমন ঘর, ধন্য কারিগর কে বানালো এমন ঘর, ধন্য কারিগর। এই ঘরের দরজা 9 খান, আছে সকল প্রমাণ, আর অসংখ্য জানালায় আছে কে করে সন্ধান। এই ঘরের দরজা 9 খান, আছে সকল প্রমাণ, অসংখ্য জানালায় আছে কে করে সন্ধান। এ ঘর চল বললে আপনি চলে, এ ঘর চল বললে আপনি চলে, স্থাবর কভু অস্থাবর, ভোলা মন স্থাবর কভু অস্থাবর, কে বানালো এমন ঘর, ধন্য কারিগর কে বানালো এমন ঘর, ধন্য কারিগর। এই ঘরের প্রাচীর সপ্তপুর, তার মধ্যে সে যেতে পারে অন্যের পক্ষে দূর। ও ভোলা মন, এই ঘরের পাঁচিল শব্দপুর, তার মধ্যে অন্তপুর, যে সন্ধানী সে যেতে পারে অন্যের পক্ষে দূর। সে তাই দিবানিশি মানিক জলে, সে তাই দিবানিশি মানিক জলে, ঘরের কর্তা থাকেন তার ভিতর। হায় ভোলা মন, ঘরের কর্তা থাকেন তার ভিতর, কে বানালো এমন ঘর ধন্য কারিগর, কে বানালো এমন ঘর ধন্য কারিগর। অনন্ত ভাবছেন বসে তাই, আমি কোথায় গেলে দেহ ঘরের অন্ত পায়। এই ঘরে বসত করে আমার একদিনও কর্তার সাথে আলাপ হলো না।